my best friend and I had the police called on us at a snow cone shop here in Iowa City 2 summers ago. He had inadvertently leaned on this woman's car. He's really a fantastic gentleman. If she would have just said, "Excuse me, you're leaning on my car," he would have said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that." And I intended, but she was extremely rude, and she shooed him away as if you would do an insect. And what I heard that she didn't say was, "Would you get off of my car, nigger?" She did not say it, but it was understood, and I heard it. And being a black woman from the South, I know when somebody thinks of you as a reduced human being. And so, I had every intention of getting in the car, driving away, but the revolutionary in me just wouldn't let me do that. And I did walk over to her and I did have words with her because I did not want him as a black man to be in this conversation with this white woman. And I felt like I should do it as a fellow woman. And so I walked over to her very with as just extreme. I was extremely cordial. And I just simply said to her, "I do not like the way you spoke to my friend." And, she, we had words. And I eventually said, "Lady, you're a racist." And because I called her a racist, she proved the racist in her by calling the police on us. Okay.
Wow.
And this was the summer of the multitude of white women who were calling the police on black people, starting with the woman in Oakland when people, yeah, it happened all summer long. And in my mind, just 2 days prior, I was thinking, I just really wonder if this would happen to me in Iowa City. And then it did. And so two cop cars came, blocked my car. We could not move. And, Derek was just like, "Listen, I'll go talk to the cops." And he did. He introduced himself. And there was so much fear between when I realized she was calling the cops and when they arrived, because my 3-year-old son at the time was in the car. And I ran through every possibility in my mind. It was, if the cops come, what if Derek and I don't survive? If I get killed or taken to jail, uh, how soon will David, my husband, be notified to come get our son so he doesn't go into child protective services? These were all the thoughts that ran in my mind over and over, which is why when white people call the cops on black people like that, it is not, it is racial violence. What Amy Cooper did to Chris Cooper is an example of what I'm talking about, because the police for black people represent one thing and one thing only, and that's the likelihood of death. So for us to walk away unharmed, unassaulted, unarrested, and alive was a deluge of miracle. I mean, miracle on top of miracle that we left there with our skin. And the reason why she called is because she was betting against that likelihood. What she would have loved, and it took my mother to tell me this, because my mother, being a generation ahead of me, was very disappointed in me. She was very disappointed. She said I should not have walked over to that woman. She said that I gave her license to do what she. And let me tell you, I love my mother, and I hate that I made her nervous. But I will tell you this: I would do the same thing again. I would do it all over again, and I would just pray that my mother could be okay with that, because you have to call this thing out. You cannot allow people to be unjust. Especially in my case, I was not. I was non-belligerent. I did not assault her. I simply called her a racist, and in her mind, that was an injustice to her, but only because, frankly, I had the audacity to call her precisely what she was. And she did not want to be called a racist. She just wants to be one. And then, she called the cops. There's no other reason to call the cops on me except for the fact that she wanted them to hurt, endanger, harm, or kill me. Point blank, period. There's no other reason for that.